WWE have unveiled a brand new world title. We saw a huge return on SmackDown last night, and WWE are unifying some titles in a couple of weeks' time, so stay tuned. So, a Laura belts to talk about today. We have got a brand new world title. It was unveiled on SmackDown last night. Asuka, your Raw Women's Champion, now has a shiny new toy.
Oh, it's so gold.
It is very gold.
And gold.
It is gold. So obviously Roman Reigns has just got the new belt. It's got a gold background on the front plate. Asuka, very much the same deal, but with a white strap. First impressions?
Yeah, I think it's what I said when we first saw the women's title with white strap like ages ago. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, it looks so much better than
you
the
like a
men's
white
title.
strap? Yeah, I like a white strap as well. You know what? I really like the consistency across the board. People always whinge when new belts are debuted. You can't please everybody.
The last few weekends, it's been me moaning about belts. But to be honest, it's just like, I don't know. For me, I'm just setting my ways. I don't like change. Bring back that attitude, Eagle. Go on, Cody. You can do it.
Well, I personally really like. I think the problem with the red and blue faceplates is that they always did look a bit like toys.
Yeah,
and this at least doesn't so much.
There was maybe a way you could have put the colours in there as like, detail, like a little flourish, but then it wouldn't stand out quite as much. So I get why they had to do the big blue and red straps in line with what they were doing as brands, but at the same time it never really looked like, I don't know, it did look like a toy rather than a prize, right?
Yeah, I think this is quite handy with regards to any future drafts, because it's always annoying when like a wrestler changes from one side to the other, and then you've got the awkward thing, it's like, oh, well, they got the wrong colour belt, which is why they've held off on this, I guess.
Handover ceremony.
Yeah, right? So actually, I don't think this is a bad idea. It is, it does raise an interesting question about what happens with Rhea's belt now. Mm-hmm. Are we going to see, because we've got the parallel, obviously, between the two WWE faceplate titles there. Are we going to get a women's world heavyweight title? And are we going to have them basically look the same but with white straps as the gents?
I'd be up for that. I think just varying the designs of the belts across shows but keeping them uniform. Mm-hmm. It feels a little bit more like what it was like in back in 03, right?
Yeah, like with these specific belts with the big WWE logo on, I think it's a pretty uninspired design, but I don't think it's awful.
Check out the New York Yankees one on Euroshop. Go on. It's amazing.
Right. I'll keep an eye out. Anyway, Asuka presented with the new belt by Adam Pearce, but she was very, very quickly interrupted by none other than the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is back. It was reported prior to the show that she was backstage at SmackDown, and she did indeed appear on the show itself. So she comes down. Flair basically acts like Charlotte Flair. She's like, I don't wait in line for a title shot. I want my title shot sooner rather than later. Asuka going for the mist. Flair evades it, and then Flair swiftly slamming Asuka's face into the podium, and then a big boot sending Asuka out of the ring. So Charlotte Flair is back. A match has been announced for this new women's title, which is no longer, by the way, being called the Raw Women's title. It is now the WWE Women's title, which would once again indicate that they're going to get rid of the SmackDown one, and maybe do a heavyweight thing, maybe a WWE Women's Universal title. I don't know. I don't make the rules. So that has been set up, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for that title on the SmackDown Go Home in London.
Really?
On Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's going to be great. It's no surprise, Charlotte, whenever there's gold about, she's like a shark, isn't she?
She is.
She can just smell a title. And that's it. It's just fingers crossed she doesn't just come in and tear it away from Asuka, though.
There's a few interesting things they could do here.
That's what I'd be worried about.
That's a concern because Asuka is fantastic.
And Charlotte.
Yeah. No, and Asuka hasn't held the belt for very long. Was this just a way of getting it off of Bianca? Is this just a transitional championship deal? I don't know.
I've been enjoying what Asuka's been doing. And I think
likewise.
There's a lot of room in it still.
Yeah, me too. Bianca still very much involved in this whole storyline predicament. Bianca Belair was not very happy about this. She said that she had been promised a shot by Pierce, which happened earlier in the evening. So she goes into Pierce's office during SmackDown after this big ceremony, and she's like, I'm very upset about this.
What a bad GM.
Yeah, I know, right? But Pierce did say that he's going to resolve the situation accordingly. I think there's something really interesting they could do here, where it looks like maybe Charlotte's going to win, maybe Asuka is going to win, maybe Asuka has just won, and then Bianca comes out, ruins it for everybody, and we get the heel turn that I think has been needed for quite a while with Bianca.
I think it's just sort of like on the start line, just waiting to go. It feels like, you know, the crowd would, I think, be very much behind it.
I think she just needs freshening up.
Behind her in that way. But like, I think it's, it just needs a little bit of freshening up, does the whole kind of division anyway. So I think that Bianca going heel would be a great.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think there's mileage in it, and I think Bianca, I think she's been a really good heel.
Oh, yeah.
But like her title reign, despite being very long, wasn't all that, and I don't think they offered her the storylines that they maybe should have done. I think her character could do with a bit of freshening up, and maybe this is the way you do that. Pure speculation, obviously, but what is confirmed, obviously, is you've got Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for the new WWE Women's title at the go-home edition of Money in the Bank. It's curious timing, right? There's going to be something. It's not going to end in a big win for either, is it? Right, it's going to happen at Money in the Bank, and maybe Bianca will be involved. Maybe she won't. Speaking of belts, WWE unifying, more titles in 2 weeks' time. So in 2 weeks' time, the WWE NXT Women's Tag Team titles are set to be unified with the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. This is something that's been rumoured for a little while. Fight fans put out a report yesterday saying it was going to be happening, but I don't think anybody expected it to be announced this soon. So Kayla Braxton conducted an in-ring interview with NXT Women's Tag Team champions Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, but they were cut off by the entrance music of the Women's Tag Team champions, the WWE Women's Tag Team champions, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Moving forward a little bit, basically, it's all broken down, right? Nobody's happy here, and the title unification match has been set for the June 23rd episode of SmackDown Live from Lafayette, Louisiana. The winners of that match will be crowned the inaugural undisputed WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and it's expected that they're going to be defending those titles across all three brands.
Which is good, because that was initially the kind of stated purpose of the women's titles, right? They were going to be
the WWE Women's titles.
WWE Women's titles,
and then they introduced the NXT.
And then the NXT belts came in, and it was like, oh, what are we doing now?
Yeah, so they did flip-flop between Raw and SmackDown occasionally. I think to be honest, both sets of titles haven't been all that. The NXT women's titles, I'm not sure that they have got the roster depth to be pulling something like that off. I think it was probably a mistake, and I'm taking nothing away from Isla and Alba here, because I actually think they've been really good, but there was a lot of thrown together tag teams. It didn't feel like a real division.
At times it felt a bit more important and a bit more thought out than the WWE women's tag titles, though.
With regards to storyline and matches, perhaps, because the big problem that the WWE women's titles have had for a long time is they've been so consistently used as props to further singles feuds, and it does my absolute head in. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion, the winners of this match. They're not going to keep the NXT women's titles around and scrap the WWE ones, are they?
Do the Jeff Jarrett sticker on the front.
So we're going to get undisputed, and so sorry to Alba Dawn and Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. That's obviously what's going to happen there, and they're not going to take the belts off of Rousey and Baszler. But once again, it looks like they're going to be used because Rousey has reportedly at least pitched that she wants to do a singles program with Shayna Baszler. So even after these are unified, they're still going to be used as a short-term reason to get to a singles match.
Which, it
does my head in.
It's all just cyclical.
I think it's
life is
crap.
Just a big circle.
You can do it from time to time, but time and time again, it's really, really frustrating. Also frustrating, Young Rock's being cancelled. Oh, no. NBC have announced the cancellation of Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Young Rock TV series. It ran for 3 series, but it is no more.
I'm quite surprised, because I remember there was a lot of buzz when it first initially came out. There were a lot of people in office who were watching it, which I kind of took as a good sign, because quite often when you do jobs like this, you don't really want to go home and absorb more wrestling content sometimes. But I think that In a way, I can understand it, but at the same time, it's a bit of a shame because it was something about wrestling that was out there in the prime time. And
it's
it was
cool,
nice
isn't
to have it out there.
Oh yeah, I think it was a cool idea for a show. I've never watched it, to be honest. Not because I don't want to consume more wrestling or anything like that. It just didn't really interest me that much. All I've seen is the on-set photos and then playing Guess the Wrestler. It's like, is that Triple H?
Get the rights for the UK version. We'll make it into like a proper kitchen sink drama.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll do it right.
Have they just exhausted what Young Rock did now?
No, I think there was I've not seen the latest season, but I think it was sort of slowly ticking along. But there was obviously a lot more to go because you've got, The Rock's still going. It could infinitely go.
Yeah, then he's not young anymore. He's old Rock now.
Yeah, but
Young Rock stops when he's what, 25?
He's young at heart.
No offense to
him. The change of the theme tune, talk about how he's young at heart. He might have a new hit, but he's young at heart.
Well, maybe middle-aged Rock is going to be announced soon. Who knows? Speaking of the wider entertainment sphere, Seth Rollins' movie role has been confirmed by Can We Get Toast, who I've been reliably informed are reliable. Fraser gave us the scoop on this one, basically, Can We Get Toast gave us the scoop. Fraser has explained what the hell is going on, so I have no idea. Seth Rollins will be playing Cobra and is wrapped filming for Captain America: Brave New World. You familiar with Cobra?
Not familiar with Cobra.
Good stuff. Insight here. He was very good on Gladiators, so it'll be great to see him in Captain America: Brave New World. That'll mean a lot to some people. I don't understand
it.
But I hope
does sound
you enjoy
like
the film.
Cobra Commander a bit from G.I. Joe. Maybe that's what he should be doing.
Fraser's analysis of this was that Cobra physically behaves in a very similar way to Seth Rollins. He's got quite a similar moveset, apparently. So Seth Rollins is a really good guy to be playing this. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I don't understand, but I hope you love the film.
Yeah, it's amazing that we've got yet another WWE star branching out into Hollywood.
And you know what? He's a guy that I didn't necessarily see doing that. In the same way that Roman Reigns feels like a mega star.
Oh, just waiting for the perfect movie to drop for Roman to leave.
What is he? Who's the guy who looks like Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
Is it Jason Momoa? They look like they could be brothers and everything. But like Seth Rollins, it wouldn't have surprised me had he never got into film. So it's cool to see more people doing it. It's more eyes on WWE as a result. We just
need to reboot the Marine franchise, get Nick Khan to get it in the cinemas like it deserves, get Miz back out there.
Ted DiBiase Jr. Yeah. Oh, no, he's busy, isn't he? Horrible. Anyway, that's it. We will be back with more news very, very shortly. We've got a big weekend, by the way. We have got a list going live tonight, which is very exciting. And that's it. See you in a bit. No, tomorrow we've got a tier list, WWE Heels with Ross and Fraser.
Yep.
And then in the evening, and you can set a reminder right now because it's premiering at 7 p.m. BST. We have got, you tell them all about it.
We've got yet another documentary.
What a way to plug it!
No, we've been working away at this one for a while. This is an edit by Piers, script again by Justin. It concerns the rivalry between Stone Cold and The Rock, which is widely regarded to may not be the most fruitful feud in wrestling history, but perhaps the biggest.
So he did the voiceover.
Yeah.
No, who did the voiceover?
Who did the voiceover?
This guy.
Oh, it was me, yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. Check it out, 7 p.m. tomorrow. And set a reminder now. See you in a bit. Take care. Bye.